Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. And today's show, two of my favorites from the Positive Vibe Tribe, Nancy Debra Barrows and Brian Schulman. They are amazing. You're not going to want to miss this. Please share this out. Let everybody know. Tag your friends. Here. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Hounds of Business Community, Linktree Media Group, and Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. For more information on the Hounds of Business Community, go to Hounds of Business Community on LinkedIn or look up Mike Asherbrenner. For more information on Linktree Media Group and how they gain visibility for your business in your local community, go to linkedinmediagroup.com. And finally, for information about Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer and how they support those going through cancer and their families, go to perspectivesoncancer.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Hey everybody, welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. You know, today's show takes me way, way back, and I'm so excited to have my good friends, Brian Schulman and Nancy Debra Barrows, on today. It is going to be amazing. But before we get to that, we got a few things we got to take care of, and I am so glad you're here. It's an amazing Monday morning. Great time to get the week started. You know me, I love Mondays. So here we go. It's a new week, new opportunities, new possibilities. And, you know, even through life's challenges, and those of you who know me well know that I've been going through a few, just like I'm sure you have as well. We all have our things we have to deal with, right? Life happens, but then you choose. You get to choose to make that positive step, keep that positive perspective, and move in a positive direction, because you can make amazing things happen if you choose to do it. You can spread positive vibes if you choose to do it. We'll talk about that a little bit today. But anyway, I'm just so thankful you're here. This community has been such a blessing to me. Thank you for all of you that are praying for me. I appreciate that more than you know. And I am just so thankful for all of you and for a new day. And yes, it's going to be good. So we're here on Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. What is that all about? Well, first off, I want to remind you, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. Yep, that's right. This goes live at 8 a.m. Pacific, but then guess what? Then it sits on platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook forever. So it's a video podcast you can watch again. You can watch for the first time. You can share with your friends. You can connect and talk to the people that were actually on the live stream. All their information is here. So you can do so many amazing things. But then guess what? There's more. If you don't have time to watch or view, you can still listen on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. And just listen as you drive, as you get ready for work, as you jog, whatever you like to do, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. You know, my beautiful wife loves it in the morning. Every morning I listen to her listening to her favorite podcast. I'm sure that Marketing Russ is one of her favorites, but anyway, that's where she likes to do it. So whatever works for you. Also, I want to tell you, this show It has been such a blessing. We're coming up on 500 episodes. I know that is hard to believe. 500 episodes. I can't even fathom that, but it's true. So look for that this coming month. We have 500 episodes. It's going to be good. And so please pay attention to that. We're going to have lots of good friends on. This show is all about how amazing people connect. And I am telling you that I have had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, going on thousands of amazing people just on this program, not counting my other live streams. So I just am, it blows my mind away that I have so many good friends that are willing to come. I love to connect with people, of course. RussHedge.com. I keep it simple. If you know my name, you know how to connect with me. So go to RussHedge.com today. I'd love for you to connect with me. You get all the information about me. Connect with me any way you like. Even text me on my phone or schedule time directly on my calendar for us to Zoom. I'd love that. I'd also love for you to join our YouTube community. You know, the YouTube community is really growing. It's a blessing. And I just would love for you to be part of that, because not only is there Marketing with Russ, but Russ Reels Live, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, the Experience Local, the Experience Backstage. All of my live streams are available there. So you're going to want to check that out. The best way to do that, keep it simple again, marketingwithruss.live. If you know the name of the show, you know how to find it. Straight to my YouTube page, marketingwithruss.live. If you're not subscribed, please do. You can open a separate tab right now. Just take care of it. Subscribe to that. I'd love for you to do that. And before we get rolling, I'd love for you to share this out and tag your friends, because you know what? Everybody gets busy, and it's great to have a reminder. So say, hey, friends, Brian and Nancy are going to be on. You do not want to miss it. And so I am just so thankful that they're going to be here. And I want to make sure that everybody knows. So spread the word, spread the word. All right. So last but not least, every week we do a marketing tip of the day. And today's marketing tip of the day is in honor of Brian and Nancy, who are here today, because each one of these is a simple little nugget to help move you in a positive direction. And you know what? It'll help your life. It'll help your business. It'll make you more successful. It'll make you feel better. These things, we actually do it here on Marketing with Russ. They get cut out and put out separately on social media, on YouTube Shorts, all of that. And so you can share that with your friend all by itself. There you go. So we're going to get going with the marketing tip of the day. Are you ready? Here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Spread positive vibes. There you go. Spread positive vibes. You know, when you spread positiveness to others, positiveness, I don't even know if that's a word, but I love it. If you spread that to others and you encourage them, inspire them, lift them up, talk about positive things, look at the positive side of life instead of focusing on the negative side and the problems. We all have them, but you know what? We don't have to focus on that. I believe that there's a time in everybody's life where you have struggles. It's okay to be not okay during troubles in your life, but guess what? You don't have to stay there for a time. Move forward and move your way to the positive vibes in life. And you can spread those to others. You can encourage them, lift them up every day of your life. Smile, say a kind word. There's so many easy ways to do it. Text them, send them a video. There's millions of ways to encourage others. And today I want to encourage you to spread positive vibes. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right. So there we go. That will get cut out, and I'd love for you to check that out. All the rest of the information about me is at russhedge.com today. I'm not going to go into anything else. Just want to remind you to go there if you want any of my information about my inspirational speaking, marketing, coaching, all of that stuff, or my books. Go there today. And now, give me a drum roll. Come on. Nancy, Debra, and Brian Schulman. Here they come. Brrr, ching, ching. There you go.
That's a good drum roll.
Hit the right button, that would work. So it is so great to see you guys. How are you doing?
We're good.
Doing
you know,
good.
you're talking about challenges and totally relate. And I think so important to acknowledge that we're having that struggle.
Yep.
Do our best within that time to focus on what is good. It's very easy when you are there to just awfulize everything. Everything gets tainted by the darkness. And so by taking a few moments every day to really think about what is good, what can we be grateful for, and what can we be thankful for? And I'm not saying it like it's easy, but it makes a huge difference.
What she said.
Yeah, exactly. But people can do it. And that's the whole point. And before we get too far ahead on this amazing conversation, let's have you one at a time. You know, it's been so long since you've been on my show. There's got to be at least one person here that doesn't know you. So who is Brian and who is Nancy? What are you guys up to? Give us a little info.
No, you can go first. No, you. Go ahead, Nancy. Debra.
I'm not going.
Yeah. Yeah, you. Where's the Jeopardy timer? You're just going to sit here and stare at me? All right. I am Brian Schulman, known as the godfather of LinkedIn video, one of the world's premier live streaming and video marketing experts. I'm a Forbes featured entrepreneur. The list honestly goes long and endless. I'm going to pull a Russ hedge here and say, go to voiceyourvibe.com and you can read all about me and all the wonderful, incredible things I have the honor and privilege to be a part of. I think look, I'm just I'm honored to be back here with you, my friend, and we are honored to be back here with you, and we just we just love to radiate positive vibes, and it's not always easy to do, but it fills our cup to be able to bring light to others, even when there may not be a lot of light here. We're still able to radiate that light out and receive that, and that's powerful.
That is awesome. Yeah. Nancy?
Okay, so you can find out about me on LinkedIn and all those wonderful places where you can find my bio, a little bit about me. I'm Nancy Debra Barrows, known as the Queen of Engagement. I am an author. I am a show host. I am a producer. I am a coach. And we are thought leaders in doing masterminds and book series, bringing together great minds to educate others, which is one of the things I love most, is sharing wisdom. Things I think are important about me are that I am a lover of carrot cake, a dedicated cat mama. I am a native New Yorker and newly located to Florida to be a caregiver for my aging parents.
Well, that's interesting because, as we talk about the ability to still shine and be positive in spite of challenges. And, you and I are similar in the fact that we both dealt with our parents. My parents have both gone to heaven now, but, I dealt with my dad with cancer and dementia, my mama who had Alzheimer's. And so I've been through, and it's a struggle. There's a lot of challenges to go with that. And right on the top of my mama going to heaven the same month, they found the cancer on the bottom of my foot where it all started. And, it's been interesting because it is definitely a journey, and God has definitely worked through me to do what I've been able to do. But I have seen firsthand that I don't have to live on the negative things that are happening in my life. I don't have to focus on those. I can move to a more positive vibe, a positive outlook and perspective. And I'm big on that. I know I've been talking a lot about the power of perspective. That's what I talk a lot about nowadays when I talk to companies and organizations, because perspective is where it really starts. Mm-hmm. So Brian, I'm going to go back to you, and let's just say, I know that you guys have had, we all do. You've had your life challenges, but how do you grab onto that perspective and that positive vibe in those tough times that really will point you in the right direction and know you're going to make it through?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the most important things is just remembering that it's okay to not be okay. And it's important to share that. It's easy for us to kind of get into our own bubble, our own cocoon or dark basement, whatever it is you may be dealing with, and just kind of sit there alone and or at least feel like you're alone. And I think the reality is that when you share that, as Nancy Debra said, it's personal, not private. You don't have to share everything, but when you do, it helps others know that they're not alone. So, I found through through my struggles, as many know, going through a pretty heavy divorce, that there were so many other people that were struggling, whether they were going through the same thing or whether they were going through their own stuff. It was I shared it because I wanted to let others know they weren't alone. I knew there was at least one other person that was feeling that way. And I think I know there's extreme power in that. And it was the first time in my creator journey that I ever did share it as it was happening, but I did it because I knew that there was someone else out there that was struggling. And I felt it was so important to share that. And so I did that. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is I think just to know that you're not alone, and to be vulnerable and radiate real, as we say, and it's okay to share the ugly. I'm stealing all Nancy Debraisms. Share all the ugly, snotty, unsexiness of it all, and just and know that you're going to receive. I think that's the thing, is you're going to receive so much love and support and encouragement, and you don't have to ask for that, because I think that's the thing that's really hard, right? It's to ask for something when you're in that place, because you don't want to be a burden.
I couldn't agree with you more. And Nancy, as I moved to you, I really felt I had a God moment through this whole process of my original collaborative book. The anthology Rattled Awake really got me thinking a lot about my cancer journey and all of that. But God really used me to do exactly what you're saying, because I was the happy guy. I had happy stuff on everything. I didn't share the sour side of life. Not that I didn't think it happened, not that I didn't acknowledge it, but it's just like I was able to use that to the same exact reason. There's a ton of people going through cancer, but it doesn't matter if it's cancer. It doesn't matter what you're going through in your life. If you're having family struggles, if you're having other health challenges, whatever, it's the ability to know that A, like you said, you're not alone, and B, that there's others that will support you through it. And the kind of support that I have received has been phenomenal. Thousands of people around the world. It's been amazing. Hashtag rattle the way. I mean, hashtag, what's the one? What am I looking for, Nancy? I'm spacing. The brain just said it.
Hashtag 1,000 thanks, or
radiating real
around the world.
Radiating real. That's it. You just said it. Yeah, it's brain fog. Brain fog is a real thing here. But anyway, no, but radiating real has really been. I use that in all my posts, my updates and what's going on, because it's true. It's true. You got to be a little vulnerable, and people appreciate that. Nancy, go ahead.
No, and I think I love that you say that, because when I started the hashtag radiating real, it really was about having those moments and experiencing it and knowing that it's really true. Like, you can show up as you and people love on you and unconditionally. I think it's so important. For me, you were talking about perspective. I have learned in the last few months that the perspective on myself is really important, not just the situation, but on how I'm viewing me, so that I'm not beating myself, and also to give myself permission to be every version of who I am. So the angry me isn't someone that I need to punish because she's angry. She's a different version of me, and I have permission to be her. And when we talk about being positive, none of us are toxic positivity people. I throw tantrums all the time about how, I'm unhappy with how it is, or it's unfair, or whatever the moment is. And I feel that. And like you said, I'm big on sharing. I recently actually did a post and chick tip, and I haven't been on social media very much at all in the last 2 years, because my life has been about getting here. And now that I'm here, creating a life here. And, I've heard people say caretaking is humbling. And this, Russ, it's humbling on so many levels. Even just today, when I was like, okay, I'm going to be on camera, I'm like, I haven't gotten my hair cut in months. Like, it's humbling in that, like, the things that I don't do to take care of myself the way I did before, that they aren't the priority that they maybe once were, that humility. But sharing on a chick tip that I have not been showing up, and that it's uncomfortable for me. It's not because I don't want to share what's going on, but sometimes you just don't have the energy. Right? You just don't. And giving myself permission to be that person who, while I know how much my story, my journey, and my positivity helps others, that it's okay to show up differently. Again, another perspective of like, yes, I want to be there. I want to be showing up. I know it makes a difference. I've heard from people that it's, inspiring and it's helped them get through. And then with the tip of the iceberg kind of thing, I know it's helping other people. But sometimes just giving yourself permission to be a different version of yourself. It's not a bad version. I don't know if this, in my head, it makes perfect sense. I would say in my head, this concept makes perfect sense. So I don't know if it comes out that way, but I've really had to take that perspective of there's many different versions of me. And at the core of it, I am still the same loving, caring, generous human being.
Yeah.
I am just experiencing things differently, and I'm showing up in places differently, and I'm learning and navigating through them. And that's life. I feel like that's a big thing we don't give ourselves permission to like change and have all these different versions of ourselves, and without losing sight of the fact that who we are, like I said, at our core remains the same. Like our core values are not changed by our circumstances or our attitude, really. It can be dampened. It can be, it's what Brian was saying about even if you give a little light, one candle, one match, right, can light how many candles. So just keeping in mind.
Well, let me jump in there and just say that, I might put it in a slightly different way. Same thing. There's different sides of you, right? It's all you. And, you have a foundation, a base of who you are and what you're all about, but we all go through different things and we experience different areas of life. And I think this is where perspective comes in, Brian. And that is, to me, remember that just because you have a good, positive perspective doesn't mean you're happy all the time. Doesn't mean everything goes good all the time. Doesn't mean that, you just snap your fingers and life is wonderful. You have to go through these challenges. I'm a firm believer that God lets us go through different things in life and we learn and grow through those. We have different experiences and you do have to acknowledge that, like we talked about.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what you want to focus on and where you want to move from there. And I think that's what perspective is all about, is knowing that you're going to make it through. I think Nancy used to say this all the time, and I love this, and I use it occasionally, and that is, we've all been through 100% of our worst days. We've all made it. And you know what? What does that tell us? That tells us that there's a pretty good chance we're going to make it today and tomorrow, and we're going to move in that positive direction. So, Brian, talk about that a little bit about, it's just that journey through.
It is. And I always say we have to grow through what we go through. Right. And, I think there's power in that if you accept it. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But it's important. And we're going to experience life in so many different ways and so many different challenges and so many different barriers and so many different et cetera, right? And I think the most important thing is to live in that moment. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to know what's going to happen. You don't have to know why. Those are really hard things to not be able to grab onto when you're in the thick of it and when you're in the mud or the wet cement and you just don't know how to get out of it. But I think the key is kind of sitting where you are in that moment, embracing that moment. And instead of trying to find all the answers, realizing that the answer is to be. And I can say from experience, like it's a very powerful thing. And you don't have to be alone when you're being. I think there's power in that, but there is a whole lot of extra power in being in that place with support. And I've said it a million times, like I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have Nancy, Debra, going through all of the things that I went through and experienced. It's a gift. Right. It's a gift. So I think it goes back to what we were talking about, which is remembering that you don't have to go through it alone. You don't have to grow through it alone. You have incredible humans around you and hearts around you that are there to support you and lift you up and most importantly, be with you in the space that you're in the moment, and not have to come with a solution and not have to try and fix it, because I'm a fixer.
I think all of us guys are. I think we're all.
It's so true. It's so true, right? But Nancy, Debra is a shining example of so many things, but you know, that you can just be, and there's power in just being and not trying to solve something, but just being present.
Yeah, that's a message from my beautiful wife to me often too. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to solve it. I just need you to listen. And you know, sometimes it's easier to listen to the friends and the community we have outside our closest family connections. You know, the family and the people that you're closest to, sometimes it's the hardest. And I think, you know, I had a really good friend the other day, and I think that I have some really good moments at this of just listening. And he's a verbal processor like I am. So basically, he stated the challenges he was going through. He talked about the need for solutions. He solved the problems, and he came back to me, and I said, "Well, there you go. I think you're doing great." And he just needed to process it through. And I think like that goes back to Nancy, we're not alone, that we go through this together. I always say it, we are better together, 1,000,000,000 times better together when we're able to share and go through life and grow through life. It makes amazing things happen and helps us in so many ways. But I think you guys are a stunning example of making an intentional effort to still spread positive vibes, to still let people know they're not alone, to still let people know there is a positive outcome on the other side of all these things they're going through. You just have to make it through it, right, Nancy?
Yes. And that's, again, you know, this, the phrase that I've made it through my worst days is, if you're going through hell, keep on moving, right? It doesn't, to stop and avoid it, start going in circles, it doesn't help. And there are very few people, very, very few people who in the moment are really grateful. Like, I am so glad that life is so hard right now. This is teaching me a lesson. But the majority of people on the other side of it are so grateful for the experience. And so the ability to get through it and giving yourself credit for everything. When I'm in my worst places, if I have to make a to-do list, it's wake up, brush my teeth, get dressed. I'm on a roll. I can cross those things off. I'm doing great. You know, like, that's the thing. And when you get in bed at the end of the day, I did it. It doesn't have to be pretty. It can be ugly, snotty, and unsexy. And not every day has to be a great day. Have a day.
And Nancy, let me just bust in, and I'm going to let you keep going, but I want to go back and just really accentuate this, because I'll forget about that. And that is, you know, the life challenges and things that we're having to go through. Don't feel like you have to be saying, "Oh, life is great. I love everything happening to me," because you know what? Going through things and learning and growing doesn't mean you have to love everything. Doesn't mean all the moments have to be amazing. It just means that you know that there's better things ahead. You know you've made it through your other worst days and challenges you've had, and you'll make it. Sometimes you just got to hold on, hang on. I wrote a whole newsletter on that. Hang on. Sometimes that's all you need to do. Just hang on.
It's
And
that
don't
little
let go,
cat.
right?
You remember, like, from the book fair, there was a cat hanging from a branch, and it said, like, "Hang in there," like that.
Exactly.
It's
Keep
like,
going. I'm sorry. I just wanted to accentuate that
no,
because I thought that was great.
no apology needed. Again, it's not authentic to be in the middle of something really challenging, painful, doubting, or even, like you said, being with family, not being able to take away pain, or, you know, the struggles that people we love are having. It's incredibly difficult, and it's inauthentic to pretend like, I'm so happy this is happening, I'm growing right now. Like, it's just not who we are as humans, nor is it, like, really the expectation. I think we just have become accustomed to sharing our good, and amplifying our good, and maybe feeling like when we're sharing our bad, we're amplifying it, as opposed to the impact it has on others. And I always think anything spoken out loud, like, it can have more or less power depending on what the need of it is. Very determinate by, like, I can put out a manifestation that I want to happen, but if I need something to be shouldered by more than just me, and I put that out in the world with my words, then I get that help, that response, that shows up for me. You know, one of the things that I love, and I'm, hang on, we're coming.
Well, it's okay. We're all just lounging in your living room. It's fine.
There you go. It's okay. Just change the camera to StreamYard. So
Hang on, Russ.
Hey,
one of the,
while you're adjusting that, Nancy, I'm just going to say one thing, and that is, I think that it's good to look at a situation. This is how I personally feel. Would I have chosen to have cancer? Do I love all the moments when I am throwing up and things are horrible and I'm completely sick and my body is shutting down? Am I happy? No, but I would not go back and change it. Why? Because now that I've made it through the days, I'm still in the middle of this journey, but now that I've made it through what I've made it through and seen what I've been able to do, what God has enabled me to inspire and encourage others and show them they're not alone and do the things we're talking about, it has given me so much strength personally, and it encourages and inspires me to keep going because I see the impact that God has through me and all of these things that I'm able to do, that I would have never had that audience. I never would have had that authority without going through those things, both through the senior experiences with my parents and through the cancer. So anyway, now that you're back, keep going. And by the way, as you say this, finish your statement and then kind of give us your wrap up golden nugget comments, because we're going to have to start the wrap up here after you're done with that.
I want
So
to start with the fact that whatever our previous camera was, I love this so much better. Well, we're gonna make sure this is it. I'm like, oh, there I am. Of course, I have the same sort of brain going on with being a 52-year-old woman living in stress with perimenopause. But you know my story, and people may not, but I was sexually abused. And, I've got a lot of distance between that happened and today. And there are days that, I still wish that I was less aware and didn't learn so much and could just simple through life. But the reality is I wouldn't go back and change it because I don't know who I'd be without it.
Right.
And who I am today has been able to help others. And if that's something that I can accomplish, I'm incredibly lucky. I'm the luckiest woman on the earth. We were talking about perspectives before, and I'm going to say this really quickly. And it is, it's a shameless plug for all of our authors. It's not for us, but we did our book.
Oh, too far.
Oh, too far. It's got to be in front of my face.
In front of your face. No.
There you go.
There we go. I did it.
You did it.
And what I loved about this is it was so many different perspectives. This is one of the things I love about collaborative books, but this book in particular, I love because it was people from everywhere, people who don't live stream, people who are not influencers, people who are not on social media. This is not their seen destiny necessarily to be an #1 international best-selling author, but anyone who picks up this book and reads about the author at the end of the chapter, you will find someone who you relate to, probably more than one someone, because we had the opportunity to bring together so many perspectives. And I know you want me to wrap and give a golden nugget. I thought I did pretty well so far with those, which means now I'm on the spot. But I think I'm going to let Brian give his goal. No. When it comes to positivity, there's no one right way to do it. I recently started meditating again and doing my affirmations. So when people think, oh, you're meditating, I'm like, yeah, 7 minutes. 7 minutes of meditation, because that's what I can do right now, what I feel like I can carve out of my day, and for me, my affirmations are writing them repeatedly in a little notebook that I have in pretty colored pens. So everybody finds their own version of how they tap into their positivity and how they can share it with others. I think that also for a lot of us, doing an achievement inventory is one of my favorite activities that I do with clients. So people forget how much they have achieved. And this is not just the accolades of being, an international best-selling author or one of the top 50 on LinkedIn. All those things are amazing. I am so grateful for all of those recognitions, but it's also things like, what other things have you done at work? Have you, did you get a promotion? That's an achievement. Did you, in elementary school, did you have perfect attendance? I didn't. So that's an achievement. We have all of these different things that we're doing every day, all these small stepping stones that we don't give ourselves credit for. So again, it's easy to find yourself in that dark place and not be able to find the small little crack of light. And
Right.
So I would say start your achievement inventory. And if it is that like you cleaned out your sock drawer today, congratulations. Like that's an achievement. if that's something you wanted to get done, that's an achievement. So that would be my little nugget. I think there's a lot of them and people say a lot of different things, but at least that's for me like an actionable step. And I think it really helps people to see the vastness of their greatness.
Yeah, for sure. Brian?
Get this book. And I'm not saying get this book for us. That's not what it is. This will inspire you. This is, I always say incredible things happen when we come together. That's what this is. This book is written by our community. This was our way to shine the light on our community.
It's them showing the power of positivity.
It literally is that. And I've started a series shining the light on each of our authors. So every day I do a post about each of the authors and the impact that I've felt from their chapters, from their stories, from their hearts, from their challenges. But it's about the power of authentic connection. And Russ, that's something near and dear to your heart as well. And I think anyone there now that is struggling, and I think as a world, we are all struggling in so many different ways. But anyone that is struggling in whatever way that you are right now, to find authentic connection, to find you, to find a community, feel like you belong, to feel like you're not alone, like all of those things. I'm telling you right now, like you will be lifted, you will be inspired, you will cry, you will laugh. All of the things. And and again, this is all from our live streaming community, from our shows, and you can even watch the episodes that they were on and take it another level and feel like you will feel it by reading it. You will feel it by experiencing it in many different ways. So I honestly, I think that's my tip, because the tips come from them. Right. It comes from all these amazing humans.
Yeah. Well, I want to tell you, I'm getting my copy, and so many, so many people in that book are amazing friends that have been on this show. And have I've known over the years, and you two have been such great friends. And I appreciate, I'm always here to support you and lift you up. And I appreciate all your prayers and support for me and everything going on. But you know what? It's something we just continue through life to do together, right? We just continue. And that's what makes life good, is when we have each other and we have each other's backs and we're there supporting each other, even when it's not easy. And I just want to tell you both how much you mean to me and how much I appreciate both of you. Don't ever forget, you can always reach out to me. And so, yes, love you guys too. And I just want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
1,000 thanks, Russ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing you know, because there
you go. 1,000 thanks. There you go. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to send you to the green room. Hang tight for just a sec. All right. I'll be right there with you. All right. Hey, everybody. You know what? Amazing show. Some of my very first live streaming was with those two, and they are such a blessing to me, and they will be a blessing to you too. In the comments, in the show notes, all their information there is clickable. You can go straight to them. Information about your book or about their book will be there in the comments, or has been there in the comments, and you can click on that. I want to make sure that you connect with these two amazing individuals. Having a community that makes you better is a good thing. I love what Jim Rohn says, that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Spend time with amazing people like Brian and Nancy, people that will lift you up and help you even through the struggle, even when they're going through the struggle, but they know you're going through the struggle. That's when we lift each other up. We all rise together. What do they say? Rising tide lifts all ships, right? When we are positive and have positive vibes and work to intentionally lift each other, we'll make it through. Because you have, at this point, if you're here today, made it through 100% of your worst days. So I guarantee you there's a very good chance you're going to make it through whatever you're going through right now. It might not be easy. You can do it. So today, thanks so much for being here. Just want to remind everybody, you can connect with me at russedge.com. Love for you to just reach out any way you like. Please subscribe to YouTube, Marketing with Russ.live. If you know my name and you know the name of this show, you got it. And if you're watching on a replay, please put hashtag team replay. Share this out, tag your friends. Even if you just watched it and you went, oh my goodness, I wish Bob was watching or Julie was watching. Well, share it with them. Send it out. let them know. We would really, really appreciate that. And with that, I'm just going to say, have an amazing rest of your week. You know what? There are good things ahead for you. Hold on tight no matter what you're going through. Your current circumstances do not define who you are. Make life amazing. We'll talk to you soon. See you, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.